Hi everyone, it's Tiffany with Ready, Set, Create, and welcome to my 12 days of Christmas. I'll be showing you 12 days of tips, tricks, and techniques for your holiday scrapbook layouts. Today is day 1. Let's get started. I was inspired today by the song Oh Christmas Tree, and I am creating some little layered trees using dark, medium, and light green cardstock. I was just checking my little cheat sheets to see what size I wanted them. My dark green is 5 by 12. My medium green is 3.5 by 12. And then my lightest green is 2 by 12. And I swapped out my straight blade for my scalloped blade. And I am moving each piece of paper to the edge of the cutting mat. So that's going to trim just a 1/4 inch off of the paper with the scalloped edge. And this light green is a piece from my stash. It was super thick, so I had to go over it a couple of times. But I have now a nice scalloped edge for my tree paper. Forgot to swap out my blade. Need to put that straight blade back. I'm going to trim these to 3-inch pieces. So my tree is going to be 3 inches wide. So now I'm just going to get rid of all those scraps, move that out of the way, and I'm going to trim this paper. I'm going to put my paper at 1.5 inches on the top left. The bottom right is going to be right on the edge. And I'm going to do that again for this one, the top left on the 1.5. And just trim these angles. And it makes the bottom tree is skinny. The other ones get wider as you go, but that's okay. It's going to create some angles for my layers. So now I'm going to take my bottom layer and that medium layer. I'm going to line up the straight edge, flip it over and trim the excess, and then do the same thing with the lighter green, but I'm going to line up the opposite edge. And so that gives me the 3 layers of trees. I'm going to grab an old ink pad in brown, and I'm going to ink up all the edges of my trees here, just giving it a little distressed look. And then I'm going to grab some craft foam and trim a piece to fit on that light green. And you could use your foam squares or foam tape, whatever kind of dimensionals you like to use. For a big piece like this, I just like to use my craft foam, because it's easier to put a big chunk on there. And I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive to stick those down. So just adding my 3 layers, or my 2 layers on top of the dark green. And now I'm grabbing some gold and silver stickles and adding some little baubles onto there. And I will regret this, because you really should wait till the end of your layout to add your stickles, because they take a long time to dry. And you will inevitably stick your hands in it, which you will see me do shortly. So I'm grabbing my jumbo circle from the custom cutting system and a piece of birch paper from my Snowbound collection. I've had this around for a couple of years and getting down to the nitty-gritty of the collection, but this birch paper is perfect for this background. And just cutting a jumbo circle for my background. I'm going to ink that one up as well with the same brown ink, just to carry that weathered look throughout the layout. And now I'm going to use this beige paper to be the base of my layout. I'm just going to stick that down, lining up the lines of the birch bark. And now I'm going to add a little bit of snow to the bottom. So I'm just taking that scrap from the circle I cut. The other side was a really pretty light blue pattern. So I'm just tearing it and then adding it to the bottom. And I really should have used repositionable for this so that I could adjust as necessary, but I didn't. And here's where I'm going to stick my hand in the stickles, because I'm going to flip it over and they're not dry. So I'm going to put adhesive on the layout and then gingerly press down to adhere those trees. This third tree I'm going to have hang off the bottom a little bit, and then just flip it over and trim that edge. And now I'm going to grab a cloth just to clean up my stickle mess. And luckily these wipe off really easily. And then I'm going to re-stickle those trees. And now I wanted to add, I'm going to add my photo mats here. So I have some mats. I have a 4x4 and a 3.5 by 3.5 that I'm going to add. And then I grabbed my variety mats from the Snowbound collection and just flipping through to see which ones might work. I want a journaling card here. And I'm going for the first one. It has a cute little snowflake and it has some blue lines for journaling, and I like that. So I've got that placement down. I am going to grab my repositionable to stick these down. So that way when I print the photos, if I need to move things around, I can. Stick my journaling mat down. And now I'm looking for a marker that will work for my title. I'm going to grab a scrap paper and just try out. The blue is too bright. The green is too bright. The gold, not quite. And then I thought the brown maybe would work. So I'm going to go with the brown. And I'm going to write "Oh Christmas Tree" along the edge of that circle there. Now, I really should have waited until the stickles were dry to do the title because I couldn't get my hand at the right angle. So it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it, but I'm happy with it. And now I'm going to grab the thinnest point and do a little outlining. And this is going to finish up my layout. So thank you so much for watching my 12 Days of Christmas. I'll be back again with day 2 soon. Bye-bye.